reminded things the previous session. We discussed about the expatriate management. Sorry, repatriate management. Actually, we have discussed this particular repatriation is most important factor to the international international business organizations, but they are paying less attention on about the repatriation. Second, according to the research, they have found that nearly 40% of the repatriate or returned people leave the organization. Actually, that will increase your organizational cost, and also you are unable to use their exposure or their experiences to develop your organization. Therefore, all managers, HR managers need to be considered repatriation or repatriate management process. This process, as we have discussed in last week, has 4 phases: preparations, second, physical relocation, third, transitions, and finally, readjustment. What does it mean by preparation? Before your expatriate return to your home, you better to plan where you are going to be assigned him, what type of position you are going to be allocated him, and everything. Physical relocation, then those expatriate physically moving out from where he or she is working to your parent country. Transition, until he or she is going to be settled in somewhere, you need to be look after the issues about your expatriate, for example, repatriate, about housing, school, etc. And finally, you have to think about readjustment process, because even we think he was born in Sri Lanka, he lived many years in Sri Lanka, and etc. But once he returned to home country from host country, some factors can be changed. For example, in himself can be changed, or herself can be changed, or Sri Lankan economic or cultural or social situation can be changed or varied than uh, 3 years before, 4 years before, and etc. Therefore, we should have to be considered readjustment process also of the repatriate or returned employees from the host country or from the subsidiary. Actually, which factors influence on expatriate or repatriate maladjustment? We can discuss these maladjustment factors and the job-related factors. Already we have discussed that one, and also social factors. First, let me recall what are the job-related factors we have discussed in last week. Career anxiety, based on the different factors. So, for example, job roles, positions, and etc. And work adjustment, coping with new role demands, because once the returned person we have been assigned as a new position, then he or she should have to be played that particular role for that particular position. He need to be adjust or adapt to that particular roles, because now he has some experience. He has an experiences on the country or from the host country. Therefore, he or she need to be adjusted to that particular career positions, right? And also work adjustment, and also coping with new roles demand. New roles, now he has to play new roles. You got to think about mothers has a role, specific roles, father has a specific roles, a principal has a specific roles, etc. Now he or she being assigned to new position, now he or she need to adapt or adjust to that particular job roles, because now he or she is having more experiences within last 4 years or 5 years period from the subsidiary or the host country. And also, we were to think about uh, his status and pay. Sometimes he or she may work as a production manager over there, but in once he returned, now we can't be assigned him as a production manager because we are having that kind of the person because there is no position availability. Sometimes we may able to have use or assign that particular person as a deputy production manager and etc. Definitely that cost to reduce his status. And also sometimes those kind of the assignments will reduce his or her benefits or compensation or pay. These kind of things influence on uh, some kind of the maladjustment uh, of the expatriate. Other than these job-related factors, some social factors also influence on expatriate adjustment. For example, when the person is having a more experience in the foreign country, that will keep or make some gap between the family members and some other people. Kinpin syndrome. That's the kinpin means the most important pin of the wheel or something. That's socially and psychologically. He or she may have some distance, can create some distance from the family members and friends, and vice versa. Friends and family members also can keep some distance from that particular expected. And also, each family member undergoing readjustment. For example, you would think about your expatriate not migrated, accepted that assignment with the family members. Now those family members also return to home country or the parent country. Those people also need to be adjusted to the now this particular parent country situation, readjust to the parent country situation. Parent country situation we can be discussed under different factors, for the social factors, economic factors, political factors, and etc. Okay, re-establishing social networks can be difficult because when the person returns from the home country, his or her social networks temporarily going to be suspended. Going to be suspended. Meantime, those people, those friends, or the other people can be moving out from the organization or from that particular village or from the city and etc. Now, that particular person may have less social networks within the parent country. That also can be influenced on his or her adjustment process in a home country or parent country. And also partner's career, because spouse career, when he or she was moving out from Sri Lanka or from parent country, that his spouse also join with the expatriate. At that time, he or she can be resigned or get the leave to join with him or her. Then now, once they have returned to home country, they may have some kind of issues. For example, job. Uh, Now, the spouse doesn't have a place to work, or etc. Like that. Therefore, the HR managers or the top managers need to be considered those spouse aspects also to get the good adjustment to our repatriate or return person. Because these people, when they have these kind of the issues, actually they are unable to pay their good attention on their job related activities. That will reduce the performance of the employees, performance of that particular repatriate person. Therefore, or sometimes if the organization is unable to address those issues, for example, spouse issues, kids education issues, or those some kind of the social network issues, etc., those people can be moving out from your organization to another organization. They may able to get some good benefits, good facilities from that particular organization, etc. Therefore, please understand the managers need to be considered uh, repatriation management to get the good outcome from the repatriate person. Actually, uh, based on different factors, multinational responses can be varied on these kind of the repatriate issues. For example, staff availability. We are having enough staff. Then we are not much worrying about the repatriate person. Yeah. But if we are having some less staff members to work in our organization, then we are paying more good attention on the repatriate person. And also we will to consider on return on investment. As you have known already, actually expatriate is a very cost. We need to bear more cost or to assign the person from parent country to work in host country. Therefore, we will consider uh, are we able to at least get return something from that particular assignment. We call ROI, return on investment. You have been invested some money, at least you will to get something return, some returns on that particular investment. Some researchers are saying if we are paying 1 rupee to our employee, at least we will to get 7 or 8 rupees back from him. Otherwise, we can't fulfill the return on investment. Uh, therefore, you get to measure how much we get back from that particular expert or particular repatriate person, etc. And also knowledge transfer. Definitely, once you have been assigned a person to work in the foreign subsidiary, they may have a more exposed to get different knowledge, not only the work related knowledge. Sometimes they may have a knowledge about that particular country, the particular culture, particular how to develop the relationship with those people and etc. Because the developing of the relationship between one person from another person, that's different. Ne? For example, if you need to be develop a relationship with the UK person, you have to understand what is UK culture, how they are behave, or etc. Therefore, we learn about the organizational behavior because organization through the organizational behavior, we learn some basic concept of the human behavior within the organization. Ne? Then we will to understand those kind of knowledge transfer. And also sometimes they may have a tacit knowledge uh, or person-bound knowledge. Do you have any idea about what is tacit knowledge? Tacit. Anyone can say something about the tacit knowledge? Always I am saying that knowledge, usually when we are discussing about the knowledge process, data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, knowledge has three components, tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge means what? We can be delivered that particular knowledge by using some materials or based on our explanation or conducting some seminars or something. We can be pass that particular knowledge to one person to another person through the learning process. But however, some knowledge, some kind of the knowledge, it is very difficult to pass one person to another person. That type of knowledge we call tacit knowledge. Actually, this particular knowledge developed by the Japanese professor Nonaka sensei, we call sensei, he explained that we never able to pass tacit knowledge one person to another person. Sometimes you may ask, what are the examples of tacit knowledge? Usually I say that you have to think about your mother's cooking experiences. He was definitely she never uh, attended to the any cookery classes or anything. But She's preparing very nice meals. That's it. Even sometimes you are trying to learn how to make that kind of the curry or that kind of the foods. Sometimes you may unable to learn everything. You may unable to get everything from your mother. Because through mother or that particular person has developed some component of the knowledge through his or her experience. It is very difficult to pass to one person to another person. That is we call tacit knowledge. Did you get that one? Is it okay? Tacit knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Tacit knowledge is very difficult for you. You can see many experience, the many examples by considering more experienced person. This kind of things you have to consider because sometimes when we are going to be measured, the employers or the expatriate or repatriate knowledge, just uh, we are trying to evaluate his or knowledge based on some kind of the explicit knowledge, observable knowledge. Sometimes they may have some non-observable or how can I say, transferable knowledge. They definitely every person may have. Okay, like that. Then how we can be measure ROI? Actually, if you have learned about accountancy or finance management, this ROI is not the new word return on investment. Okay? We are investing by expecting get something back return. Okay. Actually, this is not only in finance investment, even when we have developed any kind of the social relationship, in that particular relationship also having this kind of the return, expectation of return. Return. Expect rates are expensive, average $1 million for assignment by the US multinational. High turnover rates represent a substantial financial and human capital loss to the firm. Turnover, employees turnover, as I have mentioned before. If that repatriate doesn't have a good position, after his repatriation, his salaries and benefits are reduced, and his spouses are there, no good places to live in, no good places to work in, and everything. Definitely, they would like to move out from your organization to another organization. That is we call turnover. Sometimes after 1 year period, sometimes within 6 months period, they can be moved out from your organization to another organization. Definitely that will create some finance and human capital loss. Why we are saying that human capital? Because you have to consider human as a capital. Why? They can be used, their experiences, knowledge, skills to continuously develop or add new economic value to your organization. Ne? You have to think about the capital, financial capital also same. By investing that particular financial capital, we can be continuously incurred or create new economic value to our organization. Then you will think about the human capital also. Why? By using those employees' experiences, skills, knowledge, and other attitudes, and etc., they can be create new economic value to your organization continuously. In that sense, you better think human as a capital. And also, you have been invested some money for to develop that particular expatriate or particular foreign assignee. Now they are going to be moving out from your organization. Then everything goes to your competitors. Your competitors. That will give very bad outcome to definitely your organization. However, there may be some difficulties measured to ROI of the expatriates. Receiving feedback from the business unit concerned. For example, you didn't get enough feedback from that particular business unit or particular business department or etc., then it is difficult to measure ROI. Tracking international assignment in a systematic way, it is very difficult to, if you don't have good record management, record keeping, It is very difficult to measure international assignees who has been assigned to that particular person, what are the outcome, the performance of that particular person, etc. No formal planning, lack of objective measures. Uh, uh, because you are unable to measure what are the what uh, what he or she achieved over there. Very then it is very difficult to measure ROI. Too many decisions made without cost consideration of the international assignment. In that, when we face this kind of the things, we are measured to good ROI of the expected or repeated. Then these are the most important aspects of the repatriation. Uh, you will to concern repatriation program by considering these following topics: repatriation, physical relocation, and transition information that the company will help with, financial and tax assistance, re-entry position and career path assistance, reverse cultural shock, including family disorientation, school systems and children's education and adaptation, workplace changes, corporate culture, structure, decentralization, etc., stress management and communication related training, establishing networking opportunities, help in forming new social contracts. For example, establishing network opportunities, that means you should have to be developed. You should have to be helped to develop the their network, previous network or new network to the return person. And also social to develop social contracts for that particular person, like that. Sometimes you will to assign a mentor for him, mentor, mentor who is given some advice, or that particular person may able to do some consultation with that particular person and etc. Like that. Okay, this is the most important thing you need to be included to the repatriate program. Okay, then in here you can see mentors, because out of sight, out of mind. That's when if you are unable to see, then that person going to be out of your mind, like that. This can be happen to expatriate. Actually, research also found that this type of the outcome of the expatriate uh, situation. That you can't be seen, then you are not worrying about those people. However, you will to once you have returned those people, you will to assign a mentor. Or once you have been assigned to work that particular person in that particular subsidiary, from that stage you can be assigned a mentor to do some communication, to get some instruction, to get some advice to that particular expatriate. Uh, Actually, mentoring duties, mentor and coach is different. That also you will to remember. Are you able to say what are the differences between coach and mentor? Actually, both persons are very senior person who is having a good experiences on that particular job and organization and etc. Coach usually give only instruction. Coach, he or she is not going to be work with the employee. But mentor, also a very experienced person who is given providing the advice or instructions while working with that particular employee. Mentor. Actually, mentoring duties include maintaining contact with the expected throughout the assignment, updating development in the home country, informing management developments, providing assistance in the repatriation process. Actually, sometimes we can say uh, buddy system, buddy system. If you have been assigned some mentor to help our expatriate, he or she may able to provide uh, continuous information about organization, country, family, and etc. Then the expected can be understood about what is happening in that particular parent country. That will course to reduce his stress, his anxiety, and etc. Uh, However, the following factors affecting mental health program, the size of expatriate workforce, because that also additional role, additional position, firms with over 250 expatriates are more likely to assign mentors. Who is responsible for repatriation? Corporate HR or separate international assignment unit is more likely to provide mentors than the divisional level. Company nationality. European firms are more likely to use mentors than US firms. But however, you would think why we need to assign mentors. Once we have assigned mentors, we can be reduce or we can be helped to our expatriate by providing day-to-day information through the email or by using social media or by using telephone or whatever. Why we need to do that? When our expatriates having day-to-day information that will help reduce his re, re, reverse culture. Or he or she can be understood what is happening in that particular parent country. Therefore, we need to be assigned mentor. Then, once he or she is returned to your parent country, we will to provide very positive experiences to him. Then we can be get more outcome, more good performance from that particular person. These are the way how we can be keep, how we can be provide positive experience to that particular person. Okay, then today I can be finished this particular repatriation or repatriate management process of the international human resource management. Already we have discussed about the repatriate means what, and also repatriation process. So we have been discussed. For example, cultural novelty has been found to affect adjustment in those countries, and for the majority of repatriates coming home to the familiar culture may assist in readjustment. Uh, as I have mentioned before, because organization can be changed, top management can be changed, social networks or relationship can be changed, and etc. Therefore, readjustment needed to our expatriate or repatriate person. However, given the profound effect of job-related and social factors, re-entry shock or reverse culture is likely to occur in the readjustment process upon repatriation. Already we have learned what does mean by the culture shock. Reculture shock or the reverse culture shock means once he or she is returned to parent country, again he or she need to be adjusted to that particular culture. Then he or she pays to that kind of the reverse culture shock. And also factors that affect career anxiety include no forced assignment, guarantee of employment, fear that the period overseas had caused a loss of visibility, changes in the home workplace that affect re-entry position and the employment relationship. These are the things what we have discussed under job-related factors. The job-related factors also influence on some career issues for the expatriate. One is this kind of thing. Anxiety because he doesn't have a good position once he returned to home country and etc. Right? The re-entry position is an important indicator of future career progression and the value placed on international experience. Coping with new role demands is another factor in readjustment, along with loss of status and pay. And already, I think you may be able to understand that what does mean. Social factors also influence on the readjustment process of the repatriate person. Therefore, family adjustment, those factors also need to be considered. And also, multinational response to repatriate concern focus of the procedures, how repatriation affect staff availability, whether companies are measuring and obtain return on investment through intentional assignment, the contribution of repatriation knowledge transfer, and designing effective repatriation program including use of mentors and extra. Okay, then therefore, you do you have any issues about this one? Repatriation. Is it okay? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's okay,
Okay,
sir.
no issue. Okay. Then today actually I would like to discuss about expatriate performance. I didn't discuss that one. And also I have forgotten to give you an assignment. That also most other issues. Therefore, today, before discuss about expatriates performance management, I would like to give the particular assignment to you. Do you have any idea when do you going to finish your classes? Do you have no? Do you know about the exact date when we are going to be finished our classes? Anyone can say?
So we do have exams on, they have scheduled on May 12th. So before
May
that,
12th,
yeah.
May 12th, May 12th. Then sometimes you don't have a classes in next week. May 12th is only 2 weeks from today. No? I don't know. Okay, but okay. However, this is your assignment. Managing expertise, challenges, and best practices. Analyze the complexities of managing expected employees, including selection, training, and support during international assignments.
So is this a group assignment?
Individual assignment. What
Okay.
do you like? This is individual is
Yeah,
so.
it's good for if we can go for a group assignment, sir.
It's just better. Do you have any existing group?
Yes, we
Everyone?
do have. Yes, sir. For the HRD, we do have.
Okay, then it's okay. You could do this particular assignment as a group assignment. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Then let me write down uh, group assignment. That is my mistake because I didn't assign this particular assignment before. That is my mistake. Group assignment. Sorry, assignment. Then what is the date? Deadline? You can propose any date. It's okay. But this is my very humble request. Please don't copy with other groups. Okay? Please submit your own independent assignment. Uh, which date is better? You can propose. But if you are able to submit the assignment before your examination, it's better.
30th, 30th, 30th April.
Yeah, it's okay. How about the others? I think it's good.
Okay, sir.
30th April is okay, sir.
Okay, good. That's all. Do you have any to discuss it with me about this one? Yes, I'm. No, it's okay. Ne?
So,
Yeah.
the format should be what kind of a format we should adapt for this?
No, for example, managing expatriates. You will to get, for example, let me very briefly explain about what does mean by expatriates. Okay, what does mean by managing expatriates? What are the challenges, best practices? Next section. Ne? For example, when we are going to be selection, select expatriate person, what type of challenges, and how we can be avoid that kind of challenges. Then when you are going to be given a training to that particular aspect, what kind of challenges we need to be faced, and how we can be avoid those challenges by using which practices and etc. like that. Ne? Is it okay?
So we can discuss in generally, right? So we do not have to go with a specific
No,
organization.
no, you don't need to. You just discuss about the very general things.
So is it kind of a report
Yeah,
format?
it's like a report. Okay.
Right.
Is it okay?
So then the number of words required.
Okay, that's up to you. That's up to you. You will decide.
We will
Because
decide
this is
later.
a group assignment. How many members are in the group?
HRD group, we do have 6 members.
Yeah. Okay, then you can be use the same group. Is it okay? But only one thing, you will to get all members' participation to the to that particular assignment. Actually,
Okay.
this is like a reflective journal, just like a reflective journal. Reflective journal is what you have learned. You will to say we have learned in these things and etc. like that. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we have finalized your assignment on this particular title. It's a group assignment, and you will to submit the assignment to IHRA before or on April 30th of this year. Ne? Because usually when we have been assigned a group assignment, there may be pre-riders. Pre-riders. Pre-riders means they don't do any contribution, but they are expected to get similar benefits like other members. We call those people as a pre-riders. It's very difficult to uh, eliminate pre-riders when we are doing a group assignment. I think you all are agreed with that one, because you better think about we are moving one very heavy thing from heavy table or something from one place to another place. Some people are using fully effort, some people just only touching the table like that. Those people we can be named as a pre-writers. But however, it is very difficult to eliminate or minimize the pre-writers. But we can be minimized, but we can't be eliminate fully the pre-riders, especially when we are engaging with group-based activities. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I hope you may able to submit this one on time. Okay. Then let me discuss about the expected performance management. I think you already learned about the performance management in domestic or local organization. Anyone can say what does mean by performance? Yes, anyone can say it. What does it mean by performance? Have you learned about the performance? Yeah. Can you
Yes, sir.
say, yeah, are you able to say what's the difference between performance management and performance evaluation?
So performance management means we we are managing the performance. Evaluation since the process is there for to achieve the objectives, organization objective, the process is going on. So in the process, we are managing. Are we going to achieve this objective? For an example, think about within another 3 months of time, our production should be reached to some kind of a target we are going to give. So managing that target, is it close or if it's a drop, we need to push up and pull up and increase the production. So
Okay.
to elevate that, and evaluation processes, we are going to evaluate the performance? Is there any gaps or to be mitigate? What should we do? Suggestions and improvements we have to do. Those things, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. How about others? Do you have any idea
The
about the?
performance evaluation can be identified as one of the elements coming under a complex concept which is called performance management.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah.
When it comes to the step-by-step process, it comprises of performance planning, performance
Yeah.
enabling, performance measuring, performance evaluation,
Yeah.
then identifying gaps and taking necessary actions.
Yeah, thank you very much. Exactly, you are correct. Actually, when we are discussing about the performance management, there are 4 or 5 basic steps of the performance: planning, monitoring, evaluating, and action or rewarding. Ne? Actually, this is not only for the performance management. When we are doing any type of the action, we can be use this particular circle: ne? Planning, doing, checking, correction. Ne? Planning, doing, checking, correction. Planning, doing, checking, correction. Actually, this is one of the most important component of the Japanese management development. For example, you would think about sometimes you may have heard about Kaizen. Kaizen means the continuous development. But in Sri Lanka, we don't have a Kaizen. In Sri Lankan system, always we are trying to maintaining what we have done before. That's all. You would think about your office or your office or your uh, house or home, like that. Always we are trying to maintain what we have done yesterday. That's all. But Japanese system, always they are trying to add something to that particular continuous maintaining, developing, adding something. That's adding something means they are trying to develop, add some new economic value to what they are doing in office or home or what. That is we call Kaizen, continuous development. Every day they are trying to do something. And I think you may agree with me. You will think about your organization. From the top management to lower level employees doing what? Continuously doing same thing again and again and again. No changes. Just we are worrying about the main thing. That's all. But performance management is discussing about planning, monitoring, reviewing, and reward. Not only for the performance manager, we can be use this particular 4 stages to our day-to-day life also. Okay? Planning, doing, checking, correction. Planning, doing, checking, correction. Then continuously that wheel is going on. Definitely that will create new things to your workplace. Add new things to your workplace. So add new things to your life like that. You have to check, then you have to understand what are the good things and bad things. Then you need to use the corrections, adding something. Then continually again you are engaging in that particular work. The next day again you are checking. Then identified what are the mistakes. Then you are going to do the correction. That is going to be continuously happening. It will like a snowball effect. Snowball effect. Snowball effect like that. Okay. Then performance management, having those, especially those 4 stages or 4 areas. Okay. Performance evaluation also one of the components of the performance management. One of the components of the performance. Then next question is you got to think about you all are working in somewhere. Sometimes you are a managers of the organization. Then your employees or your subordinates or your performance depending on what? of the performance. You got to think about your kids. Kids' performance depending on what? Your performance depending on what? Your someone.
Parents.
Yes.
Parents.
Yeah, please.
The surroundings are the environment.
Leadership
Background.
and the management.
It is
Okay.
all about employees.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. No. Okay. Actually, yeah. Exactly. That's the one. Behavior. Someone told that still I am on this particular slide because these things are not included in my PowerPoint presentation. Therefore, this is about the general discussion about the performance management. Actually, your performance depending on what your behavior. Your behavior. Please understand, if we are unable to behave in particular way to get that expected outcome for the performance, you're never able to achieve your expected goals. Definitely, to achieve that particular goal, you should have to have a good planning and everything. Then that's okay. But however, yeah, therefore, you have to understand your behavior is the most important. Your behavior, therefore, we learn about the organizational behavior within the organization. For example, your performance depending on your attitudes. If you thought that then performance is going to be reduced. Some people are thinking, okay, I need to do something. However, I can get my salary end of the day and something. When you have that kind of the values or attitude, that will influence to your performance. Basically, performance depending on your skills, abilities, and attitudes. Skills, attitudes, and ability, and etc. Knowledge also included. For example, skills. Skill based on what? When we are discussing about skills or competencies are dependent on what? Your experiences. If you don't have experiences on that particular work, particular thing, you're never able to get the good outcome. Experiences. For example, someone can say, I am 60 years old, therefore you will respect to me. But sometimes that person may have a seniority according to physical age, biological age. But if that particular person doesn't have a good experience about the about that particular life, but his human life, or about that particular job related tasks and etc., then he or she doesn't have good skills. But he is a senior person. Because senior person can be mature person by having experiences. Therefore, sometimes you can be meta people who doesn't have experiences, but they are more matured on their based on their age, from the age. And then, therefore, performance completely depending on the skills or abilities or attitudes, etc. Some actually there may be different concept about the performance. However, your performance can be negative or more very close to zero value when you don't have a good skills, when you don't have a good attitude, when you don't have a good abilities. Therefore, performance management, when we are discussing performance management, we can be measured the performance management based on those kinds of factors. Therefore, when you are going to be recruit a person, we would think about those factors. What are the factors about these skills, education level, knowledge, attitudes, abilities? Because when those employees are having good things about those attitudes and etc., you may able to get the good performance. But however, finally, we better to measure our employees' performance. End of the day, we better to measure our employees' performance. For example, you would think about your organization. Your organization is having corporate objectives or corporate goals. Then those goals are cascaded into the management levels, top management or operational management, etc. Or we can be say those objectives or the goals are going to be cascaded to the department or section or some uh, units. Then the achievement of that particular assigned objectives or goals become a responsibility of that particular unit or section or department. Then that particular unit head or section head again going to be cascaded those goals to individual employees. Individual employees. Sometimes employees of that particular group, one particular group. When all those units, all those departments are able to achieve expected goals or objectives, then your corporate goals can be achieved or you can be get good performance to your organization. But however, it is finally depending on what individual employees. Sometimes you may have heard management by objective. Management by objective. This concept is developed by Peter Drucker, Peter F. Drucker. Peter F. Drucker. Finally, the employee's behavior goes to your organizational approach. Employees' individual behavior goes to your unit or department performance or outcome. I think already you have learned these things in your channel, performance management chapter of subject. But therefore, I am not going to be discuss about the basic things about the performance management. But however, yes, and also how we can be measured the employees' performance and etc. However, you better understand performance management evaluation is most. By evaluating our individual employees' performance, we can be understand each employee's capacity or capability. Based on that, we can be decide promotions or the rewarding or other things. If you are unable to measure the performance of individual employees, finally we are going to be treated every employee as very similar way. That will cause definitely to create negative outcomes to your organization. You would think about the government institution in Sri Lanka. Most of the government organization doesn't have a good performance management system. Those employees are having some very, how we can, very simple attitudes about the performance. Either we work or not, we are able to get some salary end of the month. Just they are trying to, as I have mentioned before, always they are trying to maintain it day-to-day things. That's all. No development. Okay, what are the learning objectives of this particular performance management? Understand the challenges of international performance management. Analyze the areas in terms of skills and other traits and behaviors to be appraised. As I have mentioned before, you can be earn or develop your skills through the experiences. And not only experiences, some other traits, for example, your attitude. So those factors also influencing on your behavior. And also you get to understand some of the performance are very difficult to measure today. For example, if we are going to be evaluate our teachers' performance, are we able to measure end of the day? No, it's very difficult. In the production sector, we can be measured one employees or the group of the employees' performance end of the day. How many units they have produced today? How many pieces they have been produced today? But teachers, lecturers, or policemen, doctors, nurses, the people who is providing services are very difficult to measure. Uh, measure the performance of those type of people. Okay, but however, as I have mentioned before, all employees' performance are depending on behavior. Behavior. Behavior depending on your values and attitudes. Already we have learned those kinds. Understand the conflicting role expectation, differences between role and job expectation and expectation from different organizations. That means, as we have discussed about mothers have a particular role, father has a particular role, teachers has a particular role. However, that role behavior can be varied according to where he or she is going to be working, where he or she is actually working. Analyze the variety of appraisals in international performance appraisal and determine who should appraise the performance. Uh, discuss the system of performance appraisal, understand the problems associated with the international performance appraisal, and discuss the measures to make the international performance management effective. Structure, introduction, challenges of international performance management, areas to be appraised, organizational role expectation, who should appraise the performance, system of performance appraisal, problems of performance appraisal, how to make appraisal effective, conclusions. Actually, what are the basic components of international performance management? First, let me discuss those kind of things. As I have mentioned before, you are working in a particular organization. That particular organization has a goal, corporate goals. We can name those things as a corporate goals. In that similar way, multinational or global organization also having a strategies and goals. Then they are going to be cascaded these things to the subsidiaries as a subsidiary goals. In that particular subsidiary cascaded, this goes to individual employees. The employees who is coming from parent country national, who is coming from third country national, or who is coming from host country nationals.
Sir,
Yes.
one kind request, sir,
Yeah,
can you
please.
share this slide at chat box so we could make our
Ah,
own?
okay,
Okay,
definitely
thank
I
you.
will do.
Okay.
Do you need now? Is it or later?
Yes, it's better, sir, so we could develop our own note. Okay, thank you.
Let me go.
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Uh, okay. Did you get that one? Hello.
Not yet, sir. In the
Okay.
chat box.
I think still it's uploaded.
Right. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Let me check again that one. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay, no. Naini, did you get that one? I still uploaded, no?
Yeah, it may be, sir. Still.
If it's okay, now it's already uploaded. Can you see that one?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Oh, okay. Just because I say, yeah, expect performance. You can see here.
Yeah. So did it show as sent?
Yeah, I can see that one. If some open file, but that file is not open. There. How we can do that? Can you see this one? Expect performance on your meeting chat box? No,
No, sir, not yet.
not yet. Why? Hmm, let me delete and upload again. Still uploaded. Okay. I ever see that one.
No, sir, not.
But I can see. This is going to only one person. Sorry. Let me check that one. It's going to Chan something. That's my mistake. Select all. Okay, let me. It's going to only one person. Everyone in meeting. That's my mistake. Now it's uploading. Okay. How are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now let me share the PowerPoint presentation view. Okay, then let me start the, especially as I mentioned before, your multinational, global,
Sir, I think the audio
or
volume is
multinational
not enough,
organization.
sir.
Sorry, they may have some strategies and goals. Then they are going to be many cascaded or assigned those goals to subsidiaries. Then subsidiaries is going to be assigned or cascaded those goals to the individual employees who is coming from parent country national or third country national or host country nationals. Actually, those parent country, third country, or host country nationals job goals and standards are depending on job analysis. I think already you have been learned about that one. Then finally, we are going to measure performance appraisal. We are not going to be conduct the performance appraisal. Based on that performance appraisal, managers can be take decision about is that person need a training or is that person can be more motivating by given rewards. Did you get that one? Why performance appraisal is linked into training?
Sir, is there any from the performance appraisal, it shows the performance level. So is there
Yeah.
any gap? Then we can identify the areas that need to be improved, and we are going to give the training for those
Oh,
aspects.
yeah. Because uh, when some employees are may unable to achieve expected goals or objectives, then we can understood that he or she doesn't have enough capabilities or abilities. Then we will to provide training to those people. That means based on the performance evaluation, through the performance evaluation, we can be understood who has been achieved the expected goals, who doesn't have been achieved the expected goal. Based on that, we can be give the rewards or the training to our employees. Okay. Uh, Actually, performance management is a process that enables the multinational to evaluate and continuously improve individuals, subsidiary unit, and corporate performance against preset goals or targets. You can understand every organization having a preset in advancedly developed goals and strategies and goals and targets. Then we can, through the evaluation process, we can be measured did our subsidiaries are achieved or achieve our expected goals. However, when you are evaluating or when you are going to be measured uh, performance management of the subsidiaries, we need to be faced many different kind of the challenges. One, total company versus parts of it. What does mean it? Actually, our organization or multinational organization performance are developing by considering a particular organizational global environment. Global environment. But however, we have been developed those performance targets or goals by considering global environment. There may be some differentiation of the national environment, integration and control factors. Did you get this one? Well, in very simply, we can say diversity and inclusion is there. Hmm? Because we We are developing our corporate goals by considering all the branches and headquarters and everything. But when we are going to be achieve that particular expected goal, definitely that will impact from the national environmental factors. Therefore, total versus part. That's total company versus parts of it. Later we will discuss those things. Okay. Standard format versus customized format. Are we able to use the standard format to measure or evaluate our subsidiaries' performance, like headquarters? Or do we need to develop separate customized format to measure performance of the employees of each subsidiary? Uniformity of the data of performance. For example, definitely we need to be used to evaluate, measure performance through the data. Sometimes you may heard one particular concept. It's smart concept. Actually, this is developed by the Microsoft. It's smart. Our objectives need to be very specific, measurable, and etc. Achievable, timely, and etc. Measurable. How we can be measured our employees' performance, that will based on data or quantitative. Without data, very difficult to measure the employees' performance. But however, some of the data, it is very difficult to measure through the some of the performance, it is very difficult to measure by the data, by using the data. Let me say in this way, you would think about your organization is having an employees insurance policy. Or let me say, you may have some uh, welfare program to help your employees to avoid smoking. Because smoking is not good for your organization. Why? Majority of the organizations are providing employees insurance. When your employees are getting some kind of the illness through smoke, that will influence on your performance, your organizational performance. Therefore, you are maintaining that kind of the welfare program. Give some instruction, assigning some person to how they can be reduced, how they can be eliminate smoke, how we can be measure that type of the program performance. Did you get my example? You let me say you have been identified that your majority of the employees are enjoying smoking, then actually that will not good for the organization, because sometimes when they get some kind of illness through smoking, that will impact your performance or the outcomes of the organization, your production line. Therefore, you introduce some welfare program by assigning a person to give some instruction to those smoking people. Don't smoke in or some kind of the thing. Give some instruction that he or she is trying to reduce the smoking of those people. Then how you can be measure the performance of that kind of the program? Are we able to measure by creating some kind of the data? Do you have any idea? You would think about some organizations are using this kind of the program to reduce smoking or alcohol, reducing alcoholic behavior, and etc. How you can be measured, how you can be evaluate the performance of that kind of the program. How you can be converted the outcomes of that particular program to the data, in other words. Anyone can say? Any HR manager?
So,
Yeah.
we can allocate a separate area for the for the smoking purpose. So we do have in our organization. So, but what see is, so we can just post few like negative impacting posters like that on that area, and so we can just see how many have been visited in previous and how it decreases with effect to that thing.
Yeah, of course. Correct. For example, you got to measure smoking, or how many employees are reducing the smoking time of the smoking or whatever. Then you got to convert those things to the some kind of the data. You can do that one. For example, let me say in this way. Earlier, you have been noticed that you have been used some insurance premiums to pay insurance some compensations to pay this kind of illness. But after you have been introduced that kind of a program, if you have been noticed that that particular expenditure is reducing, then you can be calculated that performance outcome through the data. Did you get that one? Is it okay? Because sometimes there may be some activities conducting by your organization, but it is very difficult to measure through the data. Then you need to be convert those things to able to measure the outcome through the data. Then you can be finally say effectiveness or ineffectiveness of that particular data, particular program. Sorry, particular program. Is it okay? Did you get that one? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then environmental variations in the comparison of the performance management, validity of performance criteria, time and distance variance, varied level of maturity, raters competence, raters bias. You already learned these things in a domestic HRM, host environment, then let me read this one. Multinational companies, HR manager as decision affects various organs of the multinational companies to apply very similar methods. Performance evaluation method of the headquarters to measure subsidiaries. And also, one of the subsidiaries evaluation method not going to be fit to other countries' performance evaluation method. For example, because the cultural influence is there. For example, let me say that in the Japanese or Chinese, they may have some kind of the different HRM practices, the lifelong practice of the employment. Then we can't be used that particular practice in the US. Well, USA performance evaluation is highly based on the performance outcome or achieve. We will think about some other different. Sometimes that some, let me say, decision-making pattern. Some countries are getting quick decisions, some countries are getting late decision on the same thing. That will impact to the performance. For example, let me say in this way, the majority of the Sri Lankan peoples are getting very quick decisions. Sri Lankan government also said. Why? They are not much concerned about what are the consequences of that decision. Quick decision. But they don't know what are the future outcomes of related with that particular decision. Therefore, what is the issue? When they are going to be implement that decision, then they should have to be faced different type of the issues, problems, chaos, and whatever. But in Japan, they also may take that particular decision, but they need more time to get that decision. We took that particular decision within 1 day. They definitely use 3 months to get that particular decision. Why? They are concerned. They will concern definitely what are the consequences relating with that particular decision. How those consequences can be negative consequences or positive consequences. If that negative consequences, how we can be eliminated that negative things and etc. Definitely, they will take long time. But once they have taken a decision and going to be implemented, smoothly they can be carry out that particular decision. However, that will influence on the performance of that particular both countries, Sri Lanka and between Japan. Therefore, we will think about some kind of the different strategies to measure the performance between those subsidies. And sometimes span of time span of the time you have been taken that particular decision this year, but you're going to be implemented next year. But some subsidiaries can be implemented that particular decision in this year. Then that will cause to performance of that between that two subsidiaries. Then are we able to use very similar performance evaluation format or evaluation method between these two subsidiaries? And one thing, when you are going to be evaluate our employees' performance, you already learned about the KB, KPI. KPI means key performance indicators. Key performance indicators or key performance achievement. You may be able to measure through the data from the figures. But there may be another way to measure or evaluate employees' performance by using KBI, key behavioral indicators. Key behavioral indicators. That you can be used that behavioral factors also to measure the employees' performance. Let me say in this way, you will think about the seller of insurance policy. I think insurance industry, they are using different name, insurance policy. You have been assigned one person to Colombo district, other person you have been assigned to Vavuniya district. Then Vavuniya is a very rural area. Colombo is a very congested and easily you can be talk or visit the customers. But in Vavuniya district, you should have to be travel many hours to meet or discuss with the customers. Then at the end of the year, the Colombo person got 100,000 rupees, but Vavuniya person get only 10,000 rupees policy values. Colombo person 100,000, but Vavuniya person is only 10,000 rupees. Based on the data, you can be understood Colombo person, his performance is very high compared to that Vavuniya person. How we can we measure or evaluate that employee's performance by considering behavioral aspects? Then you will to check. For example, you can be check how many how many clients met with that particular employee within that particular period, particular year. Then you can be understood. Vavuniya person, Vavuniya agent visited 100 people, met 100 people to get discuss about the insurance policy within that particular year. But Colombo agent just only visited 10 people. You don't think that we were to evaluate that particular behavioral aspects also when we are measuring the employee's performance? That kind of things also there. Like that. For example, sometimes the Vavuniya person visited 100 people this year. Those outcomes he or she can be get in the next year, not in this year. Actually, yesterday I heard one story about the Sanasa branches in Zambia. අර පෞද්ගලික දසල තියෙන බැංකු සනස පාඩු වෙනවා කියලාම මිනිස්සු සල්ලි ඉල්ලලා ඒගොල්ලෝ සල්ලි ඉල්ලන ගානක ඒගොල්ලෝ මිනිස්සු තිබ්බ සල්ලි. When the depositor asking to get that particular money back, they paid everything to them. That caused to develop trust about that particular branch among the customers. ඉතින් ඉල්ලපු ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයට සල්ලි ටික ආපහු දුන්නා. Therefore, more they got more depositors. After that, ඊට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ගොඩාක් ඊට වඩා return එකක් හම්බ. Why? Based on the trust. Based on the trust. Sometimes some crises may create positive outcomes. Okay, let me go back to here. Okay, then this is the issue: total versus part. You need to be think about integration as well as you need to think about the differences between the national environment. Based on that, you need to be develop your performance management process, or you need to be think about your performance management process considering those factors. The standard format versus customized format. For example, we can be used some standard formats to measure the profit, return on investment, cash flows, productivity, sales per employee, punctuality, rate of customer complaints, etc. However, as I have mentioned before, just before I have mentioned, some qualitative parameters also you can be used to measure employees' performance, innovation, leadership, motivation, judgment, adaptability, etc. We can be use those things to measure the employees' performance. The issue is, are we able to use headquarters standard to subsidiaries to measure or evaluate employees' performance? Therefore, definitely we will to use the different performance factors to evaluate employees' performance between subsidiary and headquarters. Rather than using very similar YT8 the different things. Otherwise, that will give or destroy our objectives of the performance management. For example, you will think about one expatriate who was assigned from the parent country. Now he is working in a particular subsidiary. Then you may have an issue. Do we need to use headquarters performance management by appraisal method to evaluate that particular expatriate performance, or do we need to use that particular subsidiary's performance evaluation system or method to calculate or measure that particular employee's performance? Like, what you need to understand that sometimes we are unable to use the standard format to everywhere to evaluate employees. For example, profits, return on investment, those kind of things. Sometimes we can be used by using similar uh, performance evaluation format. But how about the other things, motivation, leadership, and that kind of things? Okay, please understand because uh, you have to remember what is the objectives of the performance evaluation. Through the performance evaluation, we can be attract good employees, we can be retain good employees, and also we can be motivate our employees. That's the most important thing of the performance evaluation. Therefore, performance evaluation, if the employees feel that that particular performance evaluation method or system is not uh, perfectly, properly used by the managers or subsidiaries or the headquarters, then yeah, they are going to be dissatisfied about the performance evaluation. And also sometimes the sales, profit, profit, repatriation of profit, that kind of things can be influenced by the host country's government. Sometimes we need to be get the license. Sometimes they can be cancelled our license. Sometimes exchange rate controls, immigration migration controls, those kind of things influence on our. So those factors will increase or decrease our profits. Therefore, we can't be measure one particular employee's performance by using similar method. For example, I think you have to think about ready-made garment industry in Sri Lanka. They are only producing here. They are having some main head office in Singapore. They are exporting to goods there. Then from there they will sell those things, keeping more profit margin. Right? If you are going to be compare the Sri Lankan manufacturing, those performance of that particular employees who is working in Sri Lanka by using those financial measures with the headquarters person, we can't be do that. Therefore, multinational companies cannot follow a standard format of performance rating as the influence of environment factors vary from country to country and hence from subsidiary to subsidiary. You got to understand cultural factors, economic factors, financial factors, political factors influence on that particular branch's performance. And also uniformity of data performance. or we can say non-comparable data. Because your organizations are included, subsidiaries are doing manufacturing, trading, dealing, and services, construction projects, and like that. Therefore, they are engaging in the different nature of the manufacturing industries. Then are we able to compare those data with the other companies or other subsidiaries? Non-comparable data. And also sometimes we can see some accounting practices different between the countries. For example, Peru. In Peru, actually, sales on consignment also concerned as the sale. Sales on consign. Sales on consign also considered as a sales. But in Sri Lanka, we are not concerned the sales on consignment as a sales. Are we able to measure or evaluate the performance between Peru employees and Sri Lankan employees based on this particular figure? Okay. Therefore, you better understand we can't reuse very similar data uh, to evaluate uh, performance between subsidiaries and headquarters by using similar format. And also accounting standards can be varied based on the culture. For example, you could think about accounting systems. It is based on what? What type of information required by the stakeholders or capital providers. And also, if you are very familiar with the accounting method in Sri Lanka, when we are going to be right, we are going to be evaluate our fixed assets. We were to use purchasing price, né? Actual price, what we have paid for that particular thing. Historical cost. We call historical cost or historic cost. Sometimes the people who is having a vehicle, motor vehicle, may have this kind of experience. Uh, Within last 2-3 years, our motor vehicles values going increase, went up based on the inflation. Based on the inflation. Then our insurance agent are asking you will get your insurance policy for the new value of the market. You may have that kind of experience. They emphasize you should have to get this one. Get the insurance policy based on the market. Actually, historically, I paid 50,000 rupees. Now they are asking, now market value is 75,000. You get to get the insurance policy for the 75,000. And also sometimes in the developed countries, they can be accumulate the finance or capital by using different ways, avenues. But in Sri Lanka, we are having a very limited avenues to collect the capital to our organizations. But I need to say that some social factors, economic factors also influence on our data uniformity. Therefore, Based on those factors, we can't compare one particular data set or the performance data set with the another subsidiaries data set of the performance. Because those value or the value of those data can be varied according to these factors, social factors, accounting practices, and etc. Okay. And environmental factors also influence on our performance. Therefore, we can't be used applied very uniform appraisal criteria and scale. For example, you better think about the globalization. Globalization influence to reduce the local culture or national cultures. And that create global culture. For example, you will think about World Trade Organization, EU, and Euro currency, and IT relation, large-scale outsourcing, and global strategies, etc. Global means global, and local is business, global strategies, global and local strategies. They are using to develop their business. Then these environmental factors influence on definitely our outcomes. Mangana tajutingana, bye bye. Tajutingana, hari, hari. Therefore, those environmental factors also influence on our employees' performance. And also, the validity of that particular performance criteria also influence on our comparison of the performance. For example, as I have mentioned before, we can use the performance criteria by considering the end results based on the data or the quantitative method. And also we can evaluate employees' performance based on the qualitative factors or employees' traits. For example, ROI, cash flows, productivity is based on that end production of that particular year. But the later one, for example, in here you can see some employee traits about the judgment or dynamism, those kind of things. It is very difficult to measure by using data. You can understand these criteria may not be valid for local settings of a subsidy based on cultural factors, economic system, institutional setup, political ideologies, structure of the business, etc. Therefore, we can be understood that the performance criteria valid in particular country is not, we can't be used to other countries or other subsidiaries. Or we can say that headquarters performance criteria not valid to subsidiaries, to measure subsidiaries performance. Okay. Do you have any issues about what we have discussed up to now? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Then let me go to the next. And also time and distance variations. For example, some subsidiaries are situated in Europe, some are in the Asia. Then these factors also influence on our performance management. Therefore, you will to understand these how these factors influence on our performance management or performance uh, comparison between subs separation by time and distance. Or other words, we can say physical distance between the subsidiaries and headquarters, or time zone differences between the headquarters and subsidiaries. However, actually, through the new technology developed in worldwide communication system, video, telephone, or other things, actually, we are able to do good communication or between subsidiaries and headquarters. But however, uh, all those substitutes are very weak by considering face-to-face communication, face-to-face communication between subsidiary managers and corporate staff. Sometimes you are unable to talk to the foreign subsidiaries because that particular communication method is very overloaded. Or sometimes that particular communication method is not much developed in those particular countries. This kind of the things will influence on your performance evaluation or performance management, etc. Okay, then, however, you have to understand employees' performance, expected performance, depending on different factors. Just now, I have discussed about the challenges of the international performance. But however, some variables impact on expected performance. One thing is compensation package, benefits, the compensation package, salaries and benefits. That will influence on our expected performance. And task. Each job has set of tasks, not only one single task. There are sets of tasks. You have to think about your job. Definitely, that particular job definitely has sets of tasks. Then the task achievement highly depending on what your skills. Your skills. And also headquarters support. That also influence on our employees' performance. And also host environment also influence on employees' performance. And also that expatriate and family cultural adjustment also influence on employees or his or her performance. Right? Therefore, you can be understand the compensation package, task of the job, headquarters support, host environment, or cultural adjustment process influence on expected performance. Just before I discuss about, we can't be use similar employees evaluation method for every subsidiary or headquarters and subsidiaries. Now I have discussed about what expected performance highly influenced by compensation package. Already we have discussed about the compensation of the expected basic salary plus other allowances and then other increments. and non-financial benefits. That's a compensation package. Task. As a lecturer, I should have to do many tasks, not only one single task. As a bookkeeper or accountant, you need to do many tasks. As a HR manager, you need to engage with many tasks. The fulfillment of that task depending on your skills. The skills depending on your experiences. Headquarters support. Sometimes headquarters may have very close relationship with one of the experts, but none for the other employees, other experts. Then that particular organization may help to that particular employee, not for the other people. Like that. If the headquarters supports on different aspects, for example, just before I have mentioned about we need to be support to our expatriate to adjust to adapt to that particular culture, not only for the expatriate or the employee. Sometimes we need to be provide that particular facilities to our spouse and the children. Then these things influence on particular individual employees' host environment. That host environment is depending on different factors. Sampai kian. Kian lo menjadi kian, panti kian. For example, let me go back to the task. For example, you will think about there may be a different task. We can be assigned to our expatriate, for example, chief executive officer, CEO. Structure reproducer, the person who is going to be develop the particular structure of that particular organization, a troubleshooter. That's when there is a trouble, then we are going to be assigned to person to get a solution to that particular trouble, and operative people, or that person is going to be discuss about the operational aspects like. Based on that, their performance can be varied, however, it is depending on what their skills. Then hostile environment, that's the internal environment, as well as we can be say host country environment also influence to the employees' performance, and cultural adjustment also influence on that particular employees' performance. Okay. Later, next we will discuss those kind of the aspects. What are the factors influence on individual employees' performance? Okay. Then today, let me stop the class now. Do you have any issues? Do you need to talk anything from me? Is it okay?
Sir, what is the textbooks you are using, sir, for this?
Actually, I have recommended that particular book. No, you may able to get that one from the online. I have shared that one. I didn't share that one. International Human Resource Management from the Peter J. Dowling and Dennis E. Welch. Peter J. Dowling. 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 Peter.
Right, sir, right, sir. I got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then let me stop the class. Then I think next week may be the last one, doesn't it? Do you have any idea about are we going to be finished the classes in next week? No? 9 is not there, no?
Yes, sir. No, I think we do have classes after the New Year as well, sir. Because we are scheduled on May 12th.
May 12th, no?
May 12th, May 12th, sir.
I got it as April.
April. No, it's May 12th, sir.
Okay,
Till
okay,
May
we have
5th, we
time.
have classes, sir.
You have a May 6th class. Okay,
May
okay,
5th.
I got it. Okay,
Right.
I got it. Next week. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Let me
Thank you
start.
very much, sir.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
When you have
Thank
any
you very
question,
much, sir.
thank you very much.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, sir.
Thank you. Let me finish my class today.